Welcome to the Breaking Burnout for Nurses podcast. I'm Bonnie Kitahata, your host today, and I'm so happy that you're joining us. What you hear today will let you envision going on vacation. And our guest today is Shanta Mony. She's with luxury destination Concierge. She's a travel advisor and has advised me on some of my vacations. So I know she has a lot to offer you. So welcome, Shanta.
Thank you,
Yay!
Bonnie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you here for my nurses to help prevent burnout. You know, one of the first things that nurses think of when they're so frustrated at work, tired, overworked, underappreciated, all those things, they think, I need a vacation. And
Yeah.
one of the things about that also is that planning a vacation can be very stressful in itself. So we need your help, Shantha, in planning a vacation and just saving ourselves the stress of doing that.
Right.
So first of all, tell us some pros about having a travel advisor.
Okay. People ask me all the time, why do I need to use a travel advisor? There's so much of information out there. Why can't I just do it myself? Yeah, you can, but are you going to get the same experience that you would while using a travel advisor? What you get us not only for all the planning, but you get us during the time of travel. You have that one point of contact where if anything should go wrong, if you need to change anything, we are there with you and for you, and we make the trip seem so seamless. So that's just one big advantage. You have one person. It's not like the big box travel agencies, online agencies, where every time you call you get somebody different and you really don't know who you're dealing with. But with us, you really get to know us and we get to know you, and we help you from the time you leave home till the time you come home. That's the beauty of using a travel advisor.
Well, you're very specialized also. You can be very detailed in the information that you give for each of our vacations,
Yeah.
and we can tell you exactly what we want. You get to know exactly what we want to see and the type of vacation that we want, so we can get very detailed on that, which will
Right.
save us the headache of trying to figure it out all
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. And that was just one of the main benefits of, getting to know the person and helping them. But there's so many other things. We work with a number of cruise lines, we work with a number of resorts. We have relationships with them. So we visit those properties, we go on those lines. So we know exactly what to offer, because every cruise line doesn't fit everybody. There's people who want specialized things. You may want a relaxing vacation. You may want one where there are no kids. You may want one with there are kids because you have kids in your family. You want to take them. So fitting you, that's where we come in. We fit you to the right place depending on your needs. And we also are sometimes able to offer perks, right? Because of our relationship and our communications that we have with them. It doesn't always happen, but we are able to give that and pass it on to you.
Yes, and I think, I do see when you go on trips and I see you on Instagram and, you're on a wonderful vacation, but you're not just doing it for yourself, Shanta. I know you're doing it so you can learn about each place and so that you can find out the little secret places that maybe a typical travel agency might not, be able to share with
Right.
us. So I love that too. I know you're just doing it for us, right?
Yeah, yeah. And not to mention that, Bonnie, it makes a whole world of difference when you actually go see the places. Resorts and cruise lines, they have a beautiful website. They give you all the information. But an ocean view to them may not be a true ocean view to you, right? You may have palm trees in the way. There may be one building which is better location than the other if you're looking at a resort. If you're looking at cruise line, one cabin may have a little bit of an obstruction. That may not be a big deal to them, but for our clients, it is, right? So knowing the product and knowing the way to put your clients in, that's where we come and help you.
And I know you do get some perks from being an advisor that you can pass on to us. So
Definitely.
that's kind of a fun little surprise.
Yeah.
And I know you do specialize in cruising vacations. So I want to have you back for another episode specifically about cruising vacations, right?
Would love that. Yeah. There's so many different types of cruising vacations that you can do. So I'd love to talk more about that.
All right. So now one thing about hiring a travel advisor is, I would say, kind of a con for me is
Huh?
that I have to give up control. And I think, I don't know if it's just me or if other nurses are, kind of control freaks. We want to control everything. But that's part of our burnout is that we have to have every detail and know everything and be in control of everything. I think it's part of our nature.
Uh-huh.
And so, which can lead to part of our burnout thing. So
Yeah.
that's why I urge you nurses out there to give up a little bit of that control and let an advisor like Shanta help you out. And she has so much information to guide you, and and it's really a relief. When you work with her, you will really appreciate how much that she can do for you and how much knowledge that she has about the different vacation types and the locations and specific things, just about checking into the hotel or having your passports ready, or
Mhm.
the way to pack. And I mean, everything. She has so many details that she can let you in on that really are surprising. You think, oh, okay, I wouldn't have thought of that. But it's letting go of that control that
Yeah.
a lot of us nurses have to deal with. So
Right, right. And I know all you nurses work so hard. You'll work long hours. You don't have the time. You don't have the energy to sit and do all the planning that's needed. Studies have shown that to really plan a good vacation, it takes about 72 hours of planning.
oh,
Who's got that time? And just imagine what you could do with that time. Put it into your family, do something fun instead of sitting and trying to plan something which you can hand over to somebody to just do it for you.
absolutely. So, what are some of the little vacations that you have planned for people? Not necessarily a cruise, because we'll talk specifically about that on another episode,
Right.
but just in general, just give us a little background on how you would plan a trip for
Sure,
somebody.
sure. Yeah, we create custom itineraries for all our clients. So whether it be a land vacation or whether it be just a trip to Europe, or just anywhere an all-inclusive resort, we do that for you. So we also work with on expedition travel. So that could be a trip to Africa, or if somebody wants to go to Machu Picchu. Some of those unique bucket list items that you've been planning on doing, we can do that for you as well. There are so many different places in the world, and I think we have so little time. But I always say, just go out there and do it, and you won't regret it, right?
Absolutely. There's so many places. How many countries? I don't know, but I think I've been to maybe 18 countries, but there's so
That's a
many
good
more that
start.
I want to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to. One thing I want to bring up is sometimes we'll have special needs, like maybe a wheelchair or accommodations for handicapped people. So you can help us with that also.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of on our planning process. That's one of the things we ask for, whether it's be, accessibility needs or whether it's dietary restrictions, whatever it may be. That's part of our planning process, and we make sure we do that. We also work with a company when you bring up accessible needs. We also work with a company where they'll actually deliver the wheelchair to you at either your resort or your cruise line. So you really don't, if you don't want to travel with your wheelchair, and when you go to your room, it's there. And when you leave, you just leave it there and go. So that's a great service that this company uses, and we've been able to help so many people with that need.
I love that. Yeah, because that's a big headache, something that then we wouldn't have to deal with that. Um,
Right.
yeah, I know a lot of people have, just the one thing that you're used to dealing with at home, but then when you go on vacation, you don't realize that, oh, that can be a pain in the butt to deal with. So
Yeah.
I know you can help with that.
Right. And we also kind of know which resort or which cruise line to put you on, right? Because some of them are
Right.
much better at supporting those needs, and some
Okay.
are not. Lately, I think I had a really good client who came to me, who was traveling with some friends, and they wanted to go on a river cruise with somebody who was in their early 80s with a wheelchair. And I kind of laid it out for them. You may want to look at this because this may not be the right fit for you.
Mhm.
So we kind of know why it's not the right fit, and we try to give you other suggestions. But knowing that and just not booking it thinking, yeah, I can help, I can get somebody to help me there, may not be the right way to do it.
Perfect. Yes, that's a definite help prevent stress, which is
Hmm.
what we all need. Also, now, what do you think about travel insurance? Do you provide that, or do you offer it, or how does that
Yeah.
work?
Thanks for bringing that up. That is so important. A lot of people think that, it's going to be a little additional expense, But when you look back on it, even if you had just a small fall where you had to go get some medical attention, whether it be on land or on a cruise, those costs can be just way above what you're willing to pay. And why have all that, that burden on you and that worry on you when you can just get the insurance, just pay a little more upfront? It's really a security blanket. I've had so many people where I've had to, they've had to cancel it before their trip because of some family member was not well or their father wasn't well. And we were able to get them all their money. We've also had, lately, I think a couple of months back, we had somebody who had medical attention while they were on a cruise and they had to disembark in Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was it was a little scary for the couple because they're not used to that and they're going to a foreign country and not knowing. But thankfully, they had bought the travel insurance and they didn't have to lift a finger. We just contacted the insurance company and put it to them, and they took care of everything from getting them to the airport, arranging a car, arranging their flights, taking care of all their medical bills. They didn't have to pay anything.
oh, that's so cool. So
Mhm.
and so you would help them contact
Yeah.
the agency, the
Yeah.
insurance agency, and
Yeah,
get through
what
all
we
that.
do is we give you a quote. We look at all your expenses, all your what your trip cost is going to be, and we give you what the pricing would be, and we send you the benefits. Now we can't talk more about the benefits because we're not licensed for the insurance, but we give you all the contact information that you need to get in touch with the company, and do book the travel insurance through us. But
Yes.
we are there to hold, like in the event that you have to have a claim, we are there for you as a middle person to make sure that that goes through smoothly, help you, if you need anything. So that's what we do. And
Oh,
we always recommend travel insurance. And we, in fact, if people decline, we make sure that we get that there. We've offered it to them,
mhm.
right? So that's something that's so important.
Now, if somebody is going to use you as a travel advisor, how are they charged? Is it is it added on to the vacation, or is it part of the vacation? How do you do that?
Yeah. So we do have a planning fee for the vacations. Now, if it's just a straight cruise, we usually don't charge a planning fee because unless it's something that's added on, like if they want to do a pre-trip in Europe before the cruise or post-trip, then that's kind of added on. But most of the thing, and that's just a small fee, and then most of we get paid by the companies. So that's where we get our money from.
Yeah,
But we have that planning fee just so that, it's like a commitment, right? You're agreeing to work with us so that we've spent all this time and effort and we know that you're going to go through with it.
very good, Shanta. Thank you so much for being on my show. And like I said, I would love to have you back to talk specifically about cruising vacations, because I've been on one of your cruising vacation and it's wonderful. So I would love my nurses to hear about that.
Wait, I don't know if this is the right
Oh, great.
point to do that. I do have a giveaway. It's kind of like a travel compass. It's kind of ways to, you'll get tips and tricks for what you can do to make it a seamless journey.
Great.
So they can go to travelbyshanta.com and they'll be able to get that and we'll send it out to them.
Oh, wonderful. So Travel by Shanta. Shanta is SHANTHA.
THA.
Travelbyshanta.com. And also you can follow her on Instagram at Luxury Destinations Concierge. So both of those things you can see on my website, breakingburnout.com. And we will see you again soon, Shanta. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next week.